Truthfully, I think a lot of my problems when it comes to not knowing what I want to wear, the fact that what I want to wear doesn't really exist. So I don't know. In true Thanos fashion, my crafter's audacity tells me, fine, I'll do it myself. Specifically in this instance, I'm talking about the very short period in the late 60s, early 70s called medieval revival. There are much more learned people than I who have made very informative videos about this time in history. Kaz Rose video. People just kind of dressed like the Renaissance fair, but with the added spice of the 60s mod fashion and later on the 70s boho herbs thrown in there. From what I can gather, I don't think anyone really knows where this specifically came from. A lot of movies that were set in the medieval period came out around then. Also a lot of music, psychedelic, Renaissance, like Donovan or The Fool. I do not dare explain the inner machinations of my mind. They are an enigma. But there is just there's just something about this style that specifically makes my brain go brrr. Mod fashion, medieval, mod-ieval, huh? Don't know if I'm the first person to think of this. I feel like it wraps up so succinctly in a neat little bow what I'm thinking. With all of that, oh well, please focus on me. I know I'm wearing glasses and you're confused and think that I'm an alien. This video, I wanted to make my own mod-ieval dresses because what I want kind of doesn't really exist in any spheres that I've seen or true vintage. I plan to make 2 different dresses. I don't know if this is gonna be of interest to anyone. Apparently, medieval revival is now a thing and is trending. I can confidently say I don't think I've actively followed a trend since I stuck feathers in my hair and called it macaroni. Grandma's in it. She's there. Before we get to the design phase, this video is sponsored. To talk about that, here is sponsor Rachel. Hi, are you like me? Collecting new crafts and skills like their legendary Pokemon cards? This video is sponsored by Skillshare. And no, I did not intentionally dress like a 70s dad, but just where I landed, man, all right? Hey, champ. Skillshare is the world's largest online platform for creatives and people looking to learn a new skill or master the skills that they already have. It's kind of perfect that this video is a sewing video because I get a lot of questions about how do you start sewing? How do you start making your own clothing with no knowledge? Maybe you didn't grow up with your mom or your grandma teaching you. Skillshare is absolutely perfect for that because amongst the thousands and thousands of online classes like illustration, graphic design. There are also so many helpful classes on sewing featuring our favorite girl, Bernadette. Or there's also classes by Denise Bayron that will teach you how to make your own clothing.
Having the skill to make your own clothing is truly empowering.
Of course, you can look up tutorials here and there when you're trying to learn something, but this is such a more comprehensive way to learn something from beginning to end. It can get full courses that are sometimes over an hour long, sometimes more than that. You know, in these trying times, why not teach yourself a new skill and distract yourself? That is Skillshare. And just for you, the first 500 people to click the link in my description will get 1 month free trial of Skillshare. Also, if you've ever used Skillshare, I am very curious to know what you used it to learn. Is that proper English? I don't know. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. And without further ado, let's get back to sewing some sassy mod-ieval dresses. Let's do this, lads. Now, while a lot of medieval revival fashion was kind of along that psychedelic route, I am gonna try to steer it in a direction that I would like. So a little bit more earth tones, a little bit more accurate to the medieval period. Essentially just think a little lad who loves berries and cream. I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream. Dress number 1, I'm calling my two-tone dress. I honestly don't know why we don't wear enough two-tone clothing these days. I'm gonna design this to wear a blouse underneath, so it's gonna have no sleeves, and then at the end I would love to have sort of medieval cutouts. Dress number 2, I'm calling the Fool dress. Inspired by the designs of what the band wore, also of this photo shoot of Patty and Jenny Boyd. So a little mod dress with big sleeves, maybe with a high collar and some fabric buttons. Because if we're gonna live in the dark ages, we might as well dress like it. Alright, let's get into it. For the two-tone dress, ordered from Mood, that and this kind of, Yeah, I was gonna say, this feels awful, but it's velvet. Okay, not me immediately forgetting what I ordered 2 weeks ago. Really loved these tiny little diamonds. And then for the second dress, I got the fabric in the barn. Stay here, be good. Ta-da! Last week I thrifted, I believe it's a tablecloth. Initially I was a maybe on this because it felt sort of costumey, and despite what you may think, I don't love feeling like I'm wearing a costume when I go out in public. I am quite a self-conscious person. I did not specifically venture to make these all green, for the record, but it just happened. Oops, it slipped. But I'm trying to expand my wardrobe colors beyond brown, and so green is my next victim. For both of these dresses, I am going to use the same pattern. I'm basically gonna pull a Victor Frankenstein. Full dress, I can use this base with the turtleneck. These sleeves. For the two-tone dress, gonna be a little tricky because I'm gonna have to figure out a middle seam. With all of that, I do believe we are ready to start. And I am 25,000% not going to wear this dress. Let's get into something a little more comfortable and get to work. First thing I needed to do was crack open this vintage pattern from 1970s. Thankfully, whatever grandma used this before me had already cut out all the pieces. All right, this is what we got. This is the main dress. Obviously, we are going to be shortening it. And then upper sleeve, lower sleeve. I might make this a little bit more swooshy. Musings and collar. And I think that's all I need. Dare I say, this might be kind of fun to sew. Who am I? Who? You don't sew for like 3 months and you become a different person, I guess. Also a good thing, the front is on a fold. So that is going to make my two-tone dress very, very easy because instead of just one piece that folds out, it will be 2 different pieces. So, problem solved. Also, the lengthen or shorten line is pretty much the exact hem that I want, which means less work on my end. After freeing the fabric from their paper prisons, I pinned everything together and it looked something like this. Then was my favorite extreme sport of trying this on without puncturing myself and drawing blood. Day 2. Here is the progress. It doesn't look like much now, but I have faith that this is gonna be stinking cute because we're gonna add the collar and then the buttons. I think I wanna sew these at the same exact time. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut out everything I need for the second dress and then bring them both to my machine simultaneously. I present to you. Now that you're hopefully bursting with inspiration, let's get back to work. Can you stand anywhere but there? Babe, move your butt. Get over here or something. Yeah. Whew. It was like 60 degrees out. Not but 2 days ago. And then Mother Nature said, psych. All right, so now I've got 2 different sides. We shall see how these go together. One of the things I was thinking about when I was working on this, if I could have any superpower in the world, it would be object readings. So you pick up an object and you immediately get to see who it used to belong to. So something about using a vintage pattern makes me think about that kind of thing. This pattern is from 1972. What I wouldn't give to see what they used it for, what the dress looked like. Is it still existing right now as we speak? An everyday archaeology kind of thing, and I feel like that's why I love history so much. Silly as it is, just holding this and thinking that someone else held this and they were creating something too, the same thing that I'm creating. What were they listening to? Did they listen to the radio? Was the TV on? Maybe that's why I love knickknacks so much. I just feel like every object has a story. Now that that has nothing to do with the video literally at all. I got a lot of thoughts and I just wanted to tell them to you. I'm gonna keep pinning and then we'll see what it looks like. So I think it's not bad. I almost wish that I went a little crazier with the two-tone, to be honest. Like this and then maybe one of these orange colors. You know what I mean? So yes, between this and... oh yeah. I simply cannot wait to be the most joyous little lad in the land. All right, now I guess I should sew these, huh? Before I do that though, I will admit that the fraying on this curtain fabric is absolutely atrocious. And so, alas, I needed to spend the rest of the day gluing the edges and fray checking the edges before I could even sew this all together. 'Tis the woe of an upcycler. Morning. The pond is slowly thawing and I thought maybe I'd be able to see some fishies, but I think they are very much still chilling. But anyways, today is sewing day. Let's freaking go. Hey, remember when I made a whole sewing room and have not used it for sewing? In my defense, this has been used as a guest room quite a few times. Frodo really loves this bed. And so by the ever holy laws of pet ownership, I simply cannot put it away because he loves it so much. How could I do that to my boy? This is Frodo's room. But I am going to attempt to finally use this machine. I got this sucker off of eBay. I don't remember when it was originally made. I think in the 2000s, but oh, it's just so pretty. My initial thinking was that I needed to upgrade because I'm still using the $100 model that I got in like 2012. She's been tried and true, and this is different. Mainly, it's got a side thing. Not vertical. That's too much for my brain to handle. We're gonna give her a go. Is this character development? Let's sew these bad boys. And cue, literally, I kid you not, 15 minutes of me trying to figure out how to thread the machine. Finally, with the help of ye old internet, I figured it out. I realized my machine sounded like it had consumption. That doesn't sound good. This did eventually go away, so I don't know if it was just waking up from a long sleep or if it was because this fabric is the fabric from hell. Symmetry got away from me on this one, as you can tell by the front being so much longer than the back. I did fix this eventually. I also had to take in some of the seams manually, like these side chest seams. Not an ish though, I just turned it inside out and pinned and then sewed again. The machine ran a lot smoother on dress number 2. You know, I just gotta say that there's something oddly poetic about having my modern foot pedal on top of my old Victorian one. I have quite broad shoulders and this dress was giving me GRU proportions, so I did cut down the shoulders a little bit before adding on the sleeves, which I did have to also fight with a little bit. Even though I had taken these seams in, they still were a little wonky, so I went in and tucked them in even more. So it's definitely wonky, but this is also the worst fabric in the entire universe. Something I do feel deep in my bones is that these sleeves are not extravagant enough. So what I think I'm gonna do is whip up an additional pattern piece that's just a wedge, sort of like bell bottoms from the 70s. I'm just gonna cut this seam, stick that wedge in. This ain't it. Mama's gonna need more than this. Ugh, this dress is a lot of just finagling and problem solving. It's taken me most of the day. And I still haven't done the collar yet. The work continues. Huzzah. said there was no fishes this morning? Wait till you see. They all came out to party. There they are. There's my fishy babies. God, they're chongus. Look at that guy. Soaking up the warmth, my dudes. Alright, well, I love you. Bye. Good morrow. Some progress have been Some progress has been made on the dresses, in which I will show you right now in a classic 80s fashion montage. Tally-ho. Oh, you gonna walk the runway? Oh my god. Feel like a Flintstone. As you can see, the bases are pretty much there. Now it's just a matter of adding the medieval details. So the trims, the different cutouts, just finessing a lot so I don't feel like Pebbles or Bam Bam. Bam, bam! Let's talk details. Whew, floor slippery. So I think I'm struggling a bit with trim for these projects because while I do want these to look medieval, I also at the same time don't want them to look too silly and too costumey. I think we're just so accustomed to seeing costumes with a lot of gold trim, and I put it like that. It's cute, but also so hard for me to picture what this is gonna look like. I don't know why, my brain is just blanking. For this dress specifically, I was thinking of doing castle core cutouts at the bottom, so something like that. Probably make a pattern that just looks like the cutouts. Repeat that pattern all the way around. Hope that they line up in the back. Maybe I could do some math. For the other dress, I think not gonna do any trim on this one. I don't wanna push it over the edge. I think I'm gonna keep this one sort of simple and subtle. Put the collar on this. Teeny weeny little fabric buttons. Yesterday I went in, I ironed everything. This is still going to feel like death. Glue flaps just caressing my every inch. And I did the hem, which is very funky because I hate this fabric. I went in and I hand sewed. Art thou proud of me? I think with a better material, maybe it would look better, but you know, it is what it is when you upcycle tablecloths that are not meant to be clothes. They are meant to decorate your aunt's dining room table. Every single piece of dry skin is just latching onto this. I feel like I have spider fingers a la Tobey Maguire. All right, let's go. I was pretty happy with these, knowing that when I sewed them, they were going to be a lot more defined. Cue the calming hand sewing footage. I said calming. Nope, calming. Not me wondering why this week I had knots in my shoulder blades that would take down a full-grown man. I am super happy with how these came out. Darest I say, I love my medieval flaps. Despite having shame in what I just said, I do not have any shame of just gluing this trim on. I will reinforce it later with thread, but this would have taken me 67 years. Because I knew that the fabric buttons were going to be completely non-functional, I made a little fabric plaque so they would at least look like they serve some purpose. Kind of like men's nipples. Someone take this microphone away from me. I got a kit for fabric buttons, which was really, really easy. Apparently I messed up the close-up shot, so please just enjoy this digitally zoomed in shot. Fabric glue strikes again as I finished up the trim on the two-tone dress. And now I we're ready for the hair and makeup. Ooh, don't worry, it's just me. Not some preteen hell-bent on haunting your VCR. I need to blow dry my hair because that's pretty much the only way I can get my hair straight without straightening it, and I don't have time for that. Let's do it. Right then, now it's time for a little 60s twist featuring the secret weapon of Frubalina Big. And you know what? Surprisingly, despite being a teenager in the early 2000s, I've never used a bump it before. Oh, this is gonna get stuck in my hair, I can tell. Oh, that might be... What? I also probably should backcomb and tease, but I'm going on a plane later today, so... Ow. It's the saddest little bump anyone's ever seen. Whatever, let's do makeup. All right, I put some braids in there, so maybe it's a little better. I think with makeup, maybe it'll help make it less Jersey Shore and more 1964. So it's more like 1967, but that doesn't rhyme. I feel like I've done mod makeup a lot on this channel, and it's always kind of this yellowish green, sort of similar to what I did in my frog boots video. Those aren't even.
It's been so cold since you have been gone. Like I was told, you're the only one.
That's the me espresso. Huzzah! The dresses are done. Ta-da! Wrap up, I will keep short and sweet. I am super happy with the idea of both of these. The two-tone dress, I absolutely love. No notes. Once I reinforce some of those trims with some thread instead of just glue, plan to wear that. Like, I think it's super comfortable. I like that it's not too tight around my figure. It reads medieval without, like I feared, being too much. It doesn't feel like a costume, so that's good. It might look like one, but it's very important as to what I deem is costume-ish. This one, I think this had a lot of potential. Unfortunately, the curtains really just didn't work. Of all the years I've been upcycling, this is the first time I've been betrayed, quite cruelly. I might take this same exact method with a better fabric and make almost the same dress, which does suck because I do really love the little like floral details and the shine to it. But this, my friends, is never meant to be clothes. It's very short, so if I bend over, whoo, wonky in weird places because the tablecloth has such a low thread count. It doesn't keep its structure. The glue doesn't feel as horrible on my body as I thought it would. If I'm gonna be making clothes for myself and actually wear them, they need to be something that I find myself reaching towards, and that usually means comfort. But yeah, other than that, I like the silhouette. I think it's really cute. It's just a matter of wearing it doesn't feel great. You get what you get when you decide to upcycle. Some upcycled materials are more conducive to being made into clothing, and sometimes, unfortunately, you have to be a little careful. So if you're gonna make something out of tablecloths, look at it really closely, or look at it at all. which is not what I did. And just make sure that the thread count isn't so incredibly low. We live and we learn. 'Twas what 'twas. It was quite a fun challenge to design it myself. If you're ever on the fence about making your own clothing, I highly recommend it, especially if what you want to wear doesn't really exist or you don't see yourself in the garments that already exist at the end of the day. And when someone says, "I like your dress, where'd you buy it?" You can say, "Oh, this. I made it." That's it. Thank you again, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. The first 500 people to click the link in my description or use this handy dandy QR code will receive 1 month free of Skillshare. I love you whether you're new or old to this channel. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every Friday. And we have fun here. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. My crow brain. Wow. We can do whatever you like. Remind me to put more dangles on my sleeves because this is just.
Hey, baby booby. Doobie doobie. Hello, handsome angel boy. Harper. Harper.
Why did I just turn into that internet dog?
Harper. Harper. Harper.
Berries and